Hello everyone, it's Sloth here, and today we're playing Azorius control, but I wanted to spice it up. No Jaces in this deck, we will go with creatures, and we have the Djinn together with the Valkyrie. With backup 1 you can put the counter on Djinn, and when this hits for like 20 or something, you can actually lifelink with a first strike on this one. So the synergy is kinda hard to do, but when you do it, it's absolutely epic. Also, you can use Emperor to go for the first strike on the Djinn. You also have discounts, so we are playing more Negates and Soul Partitions and get lost, because they extremely well synergize with this. With Soul Partition you can protect Djinn or just remove something else. So yeah, this is way more aggressive version of the deck than we usually play, but we'll make it fun. I wanted something action-packed, so have fun and enjoy. Our opponent is also playing Azorius control, so we probably need to Memory Deluge as soon as possible. Let's go for Field of Ruin. It's interesting if we should go for Anchorage or Mirrex. I can ramp him right now. Let's try it. Is this a good play? Probably not, but he needs to tap out main phase, which will allow our Memory Deluge potentially. Let's sit. I think he will use the ramp. We need probably more blue mana. Show me, what's the play? Alright, so we kinda did the same thing, which is fine. The problem for him is that he needs to tap main phase to do it, which leaves us with open, and he needs to discard the card as well. So it's a little bit worse even. And we just go for the same play kinda. I guess I'll go with the Anchorage. Like, we just want to go to 7 and threaten, you know, a bigger Memory Deluge basically. That's a Jace, sure. Let's see if they go for -4, which is the best play. Yep. Instantly they get it. So unfortunately we'll have to use 2 cards for this one, and it will put us super behind. However, he didn't really get the value outside of 2 for 1, so he could draw a card on top of all of this, but he didn't. So let's sit. Here's Mirrex. Mirrex is a nice one. That definitely provides a lot of pressure. That's why we play so many Mirrexes, because against the Jace we have some, you know, issues basically. Let's see if they cast something. They cannot go Emperor yet. They don't have enough. The problem is that we don't have double counter spell, so we can only counter either Emperor or Jace. So this might be a little bit rough. Instantly, from the top, a Field of Ruin. Well, must be nice. That forces potentially a lockdown. We have to play with this, but it's very insanely good for our opponent. He kinda defeated the whole plan that we had. Alright, let's sit. Yep. And we could counter it, but it's a very bad play. So instead we just Soul Partition this, so he doesn't have anything to block future mites potentially. And I could go for Memory Deluge. But that means he resolves Jace, and that's not good for us. So you'll probably have to play a dance step, and then he can answer with his Memory Deluge, so this will be rough. Him answering Mirrex instantly is probably one of the game-winning moves. We have 2, so we could potentially waste 1. That also means he won't be able to cast his Memory Deluge. Right, Negate. Probably Mirrex. Normalize is great, but I think Mirrex is even better. Alright. I wonder if he will take Field of Ruin right now, because he doesn't see Mirrex, but if he's, you know, aware of where we are going with, he will realize that we probably took Mirrex with our Memory Deluge. So that's interesting. Field of Ruin. Not sure how many he will play. Could be 2, could be 3, something like those. I can cast the small Memory Deluge, which would be nice as well. Let's go like this. I think it's worth it. We need a lot of good cards. And we can discard like a lockdown. Okay, this will be a very intense turn, because we are partially tapped for half of our mana, and our opponent just drew extra cards, so prepare. There will be something huge on this turn. We can pay 2 into 3, so we can go around 1 No More Lies. Let's negate, but it will be scary. This will be a lot of counter spells probably. We can pay 3, but he can double No More Lies and resolve Jace. So he expected 3 steps ahead. Instantly. I will assume that he took this from Memory Deluge, because otherwise, like, this is insane top decking power. Alright, let's take this one. Reformer, sure. You have Hexproof. And that means we can draw extra cards at the end step, which is really nice. So we are stacking those counter spells because they will be super needed. We will use Eiganjo to kill this probably. Yeah, we have a lot. We just need to find a way to lethal him, because those Mirrex counters were insanely good for our opponent. I will go like this. Tapping 3 is not a big deal. We still have 1 No More Lies, so if our opponent goes for tempo play, that's still good. That's it. He has 6 mana Jace. He needs to resolve those Jaces, that's super important. 1 is already countered. We don't know how many he plays. If he goes 6, he has 3 extra mana. So that's a worthwhile, you know, attempt, basically. We have so many cards that we just use it as a counter spell. No reason to overpay. We need to keep the mana open for his counter plays. Alright, second Jace out. And I think we can absolutely afford this. Alright, 2 lands. Interesting. Let's go for untapped stuff. Alright, we could go Emperor, in which case he might use the Anchorage. I don't really want to counterspell his removal. So I think we just wait until the end step and start getting our Memory Deluge and try to stack the rest of the cool things in our deck. The -4 mil from Jace is a big deal. Okay, I hoped for this one. And let's see if they fight for it. This is a very good answer to Anchorage. Alright, so I guess it dies. That's good. That's nice. And we keep the Emperor, of course. Alright. 4-7. Exactly 7. He could play Emperor if we tap out. But then we can Otawara. I think on this turn we shouldn't. I think we need more. 5 cards for our opponent. We keep Otawara for sure. Because that will be super important. Lockdowns, even though I don't want to mill too much, this is just extremely bad card. Alright, let's start baiting some removal. Our opponent has 5 cards and that's it. So let's start. And because we want to put the counter, we might do it as well here. And later we can start attacking with Anchorages. We have to counter every Jace so far. And we'll see. This will be a hard game. This Mirrex counterplay was absolutely game deciding. Yep, here's the Emperor, here's the Emperor. I really don't want to counter her. So what is she doing? Not much right now.
I've learned much during my travels.
I think it could be a bait for a counter spell.
Protect the people.
Right, 4, 7, and we only have 1 mana, right? So that's not best Memory Deluge, but we can waste the first one. A Sunfall. So be it. Another Field of Ruin. This guy likes his Field of Ruins. Alright. So our opponent is getting ahead on the samurais. I mean, I could get rid of this. But at the same time, alright, he drew the card. That's not great, but I think it was worth the risk. Because I really want to play this on this turn. If we take a counter spell, that's one of his last 3 cards. And as you can see, we are drawing serious stuff. I hoped for a Mirrex, but we'll take it. It's pretty decent. Well, this is a okay farewell. And then we are ahead, right? Alright, let's try. I don't think we'll get better trade than this. And it solves basically both of the issues, and now we will have Samurai. So our opponent needs to start using his cards. And we can double counter spell, which is huge.
We must protect the
Playing Otawara feels really strong, man, but I think it will be better later. Like, we are kinda ahead. Memory Deluge is best draw because he can basically double cast it. So it drains 2 counter spells with a single spell.
I'm never done for good.
Alright. Here's the Samurai. We can always Otawara this, but I don't think it's worth it. We can bounce the Emperor, probably that's the play, or protect the Djinn. Alright. Oh, alright. This is interesting. $12 cards. We will have to start being aggressive at some point. And we don't want the basic instead of Anchor, so I'm not activating it. Let's attack first. There is a chance that if he blocks, I play the Emperor. Just to, you know, get a better board advantage. Yeah, I think it's worth it. This kills in 2 turns, by the way. And I think we have 1 or 2 more, right? 1. And our opponent also plays the Emperor. Do we want to fight Emperor Wars? So that will be also a first strike. We could use Otawara. I don't want to waste counter spells. Okay, let's. I will try to use Otawara, I think, on this turn. We could also just trade. Like, it's not a bad deal. But I think this is still better. It's also uncounterable, so it's a little bit easier to manage. Alright, the problem is that we have 4 mana and we want at least 5. So I'm not sure if he has already the 3rd Jace. If he has Jace into counterspell, that might be a problem. But if he goes like Sunfall road, we are absolutely fine. Alright, that's huge. Alright, we untapped. Okay. Now we can go like this. So our board is a little bit better. We'll use Djinn like 5 turns before the game closes. Something like it. And we can always kill the Emperor if we want. But right now we kinda force her to die unless he uses a card. And that's why we didn't need a counter spell or removal. Alright, this is huge. Alright. I might cast Memory Deluge actually at the end step. Another Emperor. I might counter this one. We could also just kill her with Get Lost. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better.
Feel the energy of battle, then guide it like water.
He will use the map tokens. Hopefully he won't draw anything, but we'll see. Soul Partition on the Emperor. If he recasts the Emperor, I can normalize it. Right, I'll take it. I'll take it. I really hope he's greedy and he will replay her. If not, we'll think about it. Let's see. Oh, how greedy are you? He's considering if I have normalize right now. He decided we have it. Alright, that's fine. But the problem for our opponent is that our samurais are better. And he has a very low amount of cards. Oh, only this. Sure. Of course, he can go for the Emperor, but that only trades. I can always use Anchorage if we want to. They have flying, so it will be way easier to kill the Emperor. This is only a trade right now. Oh man, I forgot. I forgot. Oh, we don't have a first strike for the... yeah, sure. So I guess we just Sunfall. But that's fine, that's fine. I kinda forgot that it's only during my turn. Lockdown is actually even better potentially. I'm not sure. We can take double normalize. This is meaningful. If we go Sunfall, then we go Emperor, we get priority. How important is the token? Like it is kinda important. Let's go for double normalize. I think that should be fine. Oh man, that's actually nice. I want him to get to 0 cards, then I play Djinn and I kill him with Djinn in like 2 turns. But I need full control over the game. So we are preparing for now. I will minus, so I don't want to attack with the first strike. Alright, and now we minus. And we have basically 2 creatures, so we are still ahead. And we keep the mana. We will activate this at the end step probably and just go all in. Our opponent has those 4 cards, so I kinda want to drain him out of them. And hopefully we can pressure him enough so he has to activate, you know, multiple spells in one turn so normalize become better. But we actually have way more pressure than he thinks. Alright, so we can go like this. And that kills the Emperor again, right?
Remember your training.
I could play the Valkyrie, but I don't think she changes anything really. Let's see if there are some tricks. I don't see Eiganjo, so there is a chance that he will cast Eiganjo right now. White March, sure. Let's see if he sacrifices it. And that would seem reasonable. Alright, another card. Only 2 cards left. And he didn't expect this one for sure. Only 2 possibilities of removal. And we are ramping, like, our next creatures are better and better. And the best one is this one. I didn't count... yeah, like, I think he's starting to whiff. He was skipping those removal spells for whatever happens next. And it was just harder and harder. So as you can see, you can beat a Jace deck without Jace. Just by forcing a lot of creatures one after another. Alright, let's see this one. We are going first. I kinda like this draw, honestly. Soul Partition is extremely versatile card, man. And if we go to 4 mana, we can go Djinn into Soul Partition. The reason we are playing this card in the deck is that it can also protect Djinn for extremely cheap cost. So it's either a removal or just basically like a counter spell. Just way more tempo inefficient, of course. Alright. Field of Ruin. Already waiting for those Mirrexes. This is really mean. Really mean. I think it should be Memory Deluge, honestly. Because this is how we get card advantage over this guy. The second choice is 3 steps ahead, of course. Alright, I actually prefer this. Especially that my top deck is extremely good. Like, I basically drew what he discarded. So that's insanely good draw. Alright, let's play what he has seen. And I'm not sure about this play. Even though counter spells are great, giving me card advantage means that I will just get more counter spells. And I'm not sure how he can punish us. I have a land. Emperor. What about Get Lost? Man, I honestly prefer land. Like, I might really regret it, but we have 7 with Memory Deluge, so we should be able to use every mana we have. Field of Ruin. Alright, listen, I'm greedy, but I think there's some, you know, reason to this madness. Because I can force and target Field of Ruin. I think I will lose 1 land compared to our opponent, unless he is tapped. And then, you know, our Mirrexes are back into the game. By the way, those sleeves are super cool. I just realized. Yeah, so I guess we want to catch him off guard when this is tapped. Then we get full value. Otherwise, he just sacrifices in response and our fizzles, and we already sacrificed something. Alright. Alright. Alright, so life gain doesn't matter. And 2 damage a turn is not a big deal. I can Field of Ruin right now. You know what? Oh man, but yeah, let's go for this one. I didn't plan this play, but come on, it's Cavern of Souls. Like, we need to get rid of it. And I'm kinda happy I took the card. Let's go for blue steel. I always take more blue here, just because double Memory Deluge is already 4 blue mana. Alright, and we have Emperor. So, if he will attack, we play the Emperor. If he doesn't attack, we play Soul Partition at the end step, because we only take 2 damage a turn. I can actually ignore it fully. Here she is, as always, on time. I have to say, Emperor is insanely good card. Like, man, this card is just insane.
My judgment is fine.
Alright. So, wow, this is probably the best hit of his deck. So, we can absolutely instantly punish it. We Soul Partition and we negate it. However, he has 1 Discover and it was perfect hit. Are you serious, man? That's actually incredible. We have to go for this one, no questions about it. I should play Djinn first, but, you know, it kinda got me. I'll be honest. Alright, let's go like this. That's actually meaningful, because now I cannot double counter spell. It's fine. It's fine. I assume that Djinn will die, but we'll probably try to fight for it, maybe. Man, I cannot believe he just hit the best card of his deck. It had to be 5-drop, and we can kill every creature pretty easily, so like, Planeswalker is insanely good value. And suddenly we are behind because our Planeswalker, even though she's amazing, doesn't draw cards every single turn. So we are actually super behind on value with this, you know, great hit. Alright, so this card is better than the land. It could be anything from land up until Bridge the Multiverse or something. So we will see. Edict. Non-token creature. The problem is that he probably has a lot of removal. Listen, I have to go for this play, and because I misplayed with Soul Partition, I won't have no more lives, which potentially could win the game. I'm pretty sure this will die, but I need to take the risk. Alright, a tap plant. So next turn he can cast this, so we need to have this prepared. Oh boy, this will be rough. Man, this little hit put us so behind for the rest of the game. Okay, but at least Djinn survived somehow. Alright, that's it. I can go around one more removal. Alright, man, if we can fix this, suddenly he's not ahead anymore. Let's go with Mirrex. He can go Field of Ruin. But it's something he will do anyway, right? And this also ramps us on this turn, which can be very useful. Let's make sure that we get the priority. Alright, we have enough blue mana, so let's take the white. Like, this ramp can actually be impactful. Yeah, now we have 3 steps ahead. I think he will go for this play. Definitely Memory Deluge into probably normalize. This deck seems to have extremely expensive cards. Alright, the discount. I forgot. I am like, why can I cast it for 3 mana? And I really hope he will go for this play. Like, he needs to risk it, man. If we don't have counter spells, this wins him the game. A god. Alright, you have it. You have it. Uncounterable. Everything in standard. Just uncounterable. Still, we have Memory Deluge, so we are kinda okay with it. As you can see. And also our creature is actually stronger. So how do we go about it? I think I just pump it and, you know, he cannot really attack with this. Yeah, I'm kinda happy with this play. And let's get as much mana as possible. We can also use 3 steps ahead to create a token of this, or a copy. So I think it only gets better. Our opponent has 4 cards. Farewell is not amazing against this, just because it triggers instantly on the same turn, so they will get some value. If they hit Ashok again, even Farewell won't help you. And with Memory Deluge we should be able to just stack more and more value. Like, our opponent is trying his best, but he is falling behind. Like, this Ashok hit got him way above the power level he should be. Honestly, I think I will give him the bat. And even though he has Cavern, it's only on god creatures, so he probably doesn't have too many. That's fine. When he transforms later, we can use Farewell then. And it will be hard because we both like having cards in the hand. Don't forget, one of the players needs to have 1 or 0 cards. We could double counter spell it. Is that worth it? We can just make samurais. Alright. Man, we forced really heavy play here. And that means he has no counterplay to the Emperor tokens. We can create 3 in a row. And oh boy. Oh boy. All I need is counter spells. Even though we cannot counterspell God, we can counterspell everything else, and we can even just cycle and make a token. So worst case, we will just cycle. Man, this is the type of hand I really enjoy. Just nope. Every turn forever. Here's Mirrex, but it's not very good against the Emperor. Like if the board was empty, this would be a great draw, but against the Emperor it's kinda lackluster. Here it is, finally. So do we double no more? No, this is way too good for me. I think I can go all the modes, right? I'm not really checking, but I'm going with the play. Oh man, feels absolutely amazing. I won't get more lands. I think it's okay. He can make a 3 mana play. Okay, that's probably as good as it ever gets for him for 3 mana. Didn't really expect this kind of card here. Sure. Here's our Mirrex. Yeah, I think we are going with another Emperor. First strike is so good here. And we cannot use sorcerer speed. We need to go like this. And it also refills the loyalty, so it's pretty good. We kinda got a free card here. Especially that to target it is always 2 cards, so that's really good. Soon he will be able to get Akrazot back. Bro, really? That's really mean. I mean, really mean. I could go for 5 mana, but that means... Alright, you got me. I think that was the card he just drew, so extremely good draw on him. Let's see the big card. That's kinda fine. If we tap him, he can still use the Akrazot. And then we farewell it. Yeah, I think this is a perfect play, right? Otherwise he uses Akrazot and he has 3, so it's kinda the same. And then we can use Mirrex, which won't do anything. Yeah, I think it's better. Yep, here it comes. If we didn't counter Duress, he would see that we have farewell and he would never make this play. Listen, we get 1 poison. It's not nothing. It's not nothing. And I need to get rid of Akrazot because it's a super annoying card. Only creatures. Do we go for the graveyard? He has Virtue. And I don't really use my graveyard, so let's go for it. Alright. And now he is out of cards, no place, just against Mirrex, counter spells and Memory Deluge. From the top, assured it. Alright then, alright. Just being good at Magic. It's not insane draw, but it definitely keeps him in the game. Alright, it doesn't keep him in the game. Man, he should keep playing. Maybe he draws Akrazot from the top and maybe like 7 drop. I think he plays some. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed those games. I'll be honest, I expected more aggro decks, so I thought that, you know, Djinn will be blocking with 4 toughness. Because of flying, we can play this card just because it blocks Slick Shot. And with so much power, it usually trades. Even if they, you know, kill the Djinn, you still remove their best creature and they need to pump it just to, you know, be able to trade against the Djinn. And, you know, with Valkyrie, I expected that we'll just go for the lifelink. First Strike is such a brutal ability, especially for 4 power, because basically most of the cards don't have this toughness. Like, they can Monstrous Rage, they can go for 15 attack, but the toughness is still 3. I think sometimes they can make it 4, but it's never above the Valkyrie. So that was what I was expecting, but instead we got control matchups, and you know what? I'm not complaining. Like, I prefer to play control against control. However, man, this Ashok really hurt me until now. I hope you enjoyed those games. What about the deck? I really think this is an interesting, you know, way to play the game with Djinn. Even though normally you don't want to play creatures, of course you give them target for removal, all this kind of stuff. So that's why you need to play it smart. You have seen that in the game we kinda baited all the removal for samurai tokens. Then we went with the Valkyries, and Our opponent didn't have removal before we cast Djinn, and we also had protection on top of this. Djinn into Negate or Soul Partition or Get Lost is one of the most powerful plays, because not only you have insane creature that can probably trade favorably against anything your opponent has, but if they go for this one play to counterplay it, you just negate it. It's not a value play, it's a tempo play. So you can play both, game plans basically. And if they use removal on Djinn and tokens, then the Valkyrie very often stays. And with the first strike, they just cannot go through it. And with the lifelink, it means you will probably never die. Still, we play Mirrex, Field of Ruin, Anchorage, so we can kill like this, because of course we are not going for the Jace plan. So it's a little bit rough. We also play a bit more cardo than usually. I want to have more card advantage because with Djinn we can get the discount. That means we can play more than normally, and we need more cards for this reason. I was thinking about the Deuce because it gets kinda nice discount going back to 1 mana. However, the Clue doesn't get discount, so I think Quick Start is still a little bit better. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this a bit wonky deck. I think this is a very cool way to play Azorius. If you are a little bit bored with, standard Jace sweep kind of stuff, this is more action-packed and a bit more exciting. So I hope you enjoyed it, and see you guys tomorrow.
With